Peace. Why was the Zen teacher coming to the West? This was the subject line of an email I received from one of my Zen teachers 10 years ago. I received this email when I awoke late in the day. I was hungover, again, depressed and hungover, the wheel of suffering turning. This is how I spent most every morning for about a year or 3. "John, do you still live in San Angelo?" she asked in the email. "Our teacher will be giving a talk there this weekend at the Methodist Church and asked that you'd be there to meet up for a conversation." Uh-oh, was my immediate thought. I had not kept up with my Zen community since my bong encounter, and now my life had completely fallen apart. Mentally, physically, and Wait, what? Speaking of spirits, does anyone have some liquor? That was all I knew of spirituality at that moment. And meditation? The thought of sitting with my thoughts sounded scary. My ignore dance was so pervasive, I believed that sitting in stillness would make things worse. The other thing about hanging out with a Zen teacher is that it doesn't happen. On Zen retreats, there are formal meetings, dokusan, and then there are the silent nods and smiles given out and received in the dining hall, but never casually chilling together, talking about the Zen All-Star game or the Real Housewives of Buddhism. And he wanted to chat with me? Now? God ratted me out. I had no doubt about that. I emailed her, yes, that I lived here, and yes, I would show up. That was all I could expect of myself during this period of my life, showing up. When I arrived at the Methodist Church, I was disheveled. I was probably a little less hungover than when I received the email, but I was every bit as depressed, and it showed in my body. It showed in my presence. Who knows, maybe even in my odor. I walked in unfashionably late to hear the Zen teacher wowing the typical West Texas evangelicals who were likely expecting a levitating kung fu master, but the way he weaved the Christian teachings with Zen experience kept their attention. He talked about this time as a Jesuit and the freedom he found in being in God's presence. Honestly, I can't remember anything he spoke about. After the talk, we all went to the lunch hall to gather and chat. I followed the teacher and sat next to him. He was the celebrity of the weekend, and by celebrity, I don't mean they were asking to take selfies with him or have his latest retreat photo signed, but man, were they googly-eyed over his wisdom. I was just happy to be doing something other than drinking or sleeping. I was as happy as one could be in whatever self-imposed mental hell I designed, constructed, and resided in. Side note, if you ever decide to create your own mental hell one day, follow this plan. Number 1, have a terrible thought about yourself or someone else. Both, if you want the full effect. Your experience is likely to be much more intense and long-lasting if you choose a thought about something completely out of your control, like something that happened in the past or might happen in the future. Something that has to do with someone else, like how you want to change them for the better, or how you can help them to have a better understanding of the real you. This always works to construct firm walls of suffering. I thought I failed my family, myself, the world, God, the universe, etc. Once you take on this type of thought responsibility, holding the expectations of the universe, or worse, your family, solely in your mental grasp, it can be difficult to relinquish. Number 2, think about this thought as much as possible. Try not to distract yourself with things such as exercise or conversations with friends or family about their life. Most importantly, do not, under any circumstances, distract from this line of thinking by moving on with your life. Number 3, that's basically it. Just keep thinking this thought over and over. Number 4, oh, and one more tip. Try to find a chemical substance, like alcohol, that you can drink regularly. Drink enough of it to temporarily numb your self-hating thoughts and concerns about the world. This will enable you to do more dumb shit that you can think tirelessly about and regret after sobering up. If there was any chance of dismantling the walls of your personal hell, this would certainly provide the foundation to prevent your walls from coming down. Then, you can come with me to the Big Rock Candy Mountain. You'll never change your socks, and the little streams of alcohol come trickling down the rocks. Or, you can take the grace life drops in your life and sit quietly with someone who has pulled their suffering out at the root. It's been a while since my student John and I have seen one another. Would you all give us a minute to catch up? The teacher asked the crowd. Then he turned to me. Would you like to walk? Sure, I responded. We walked, mostly in silence. I did not know then how powerful silence could be. One moment of peace. It's all we need, and it is ever present. No matter how turbulent the waves are on the surface, there is only stillness if you go deep enough. Silence is the constant background. Peace awaits our return. Silence does not call to us. Silence does not chastise us. It waits. Our walk entered silence, and then we sat in silence. The teacher asked how I was. I didn't know how to respond. I no longer knew myself. What I did know was I was unraveling, and I didn't know who. And I didn't know who knew, but I did know that I could not hide myself from my teacher. Without speaking it aloud, the agreement we had made years ago was to be present and open. Tears welled up in my eyes. Where had this suffering come from? Why could I not set it down? My teacher sat, never moving out of his silence. When you are in pain, those closest to you hurt with you. There is a time to share in one another's pain, but this was not that time for me. Or that time had long since passed. Seeing your own pain in the eyes of your loved ones makes it more difficult to be around them when suffering carries on. In suffering, it can suck to be yourself. So why hold up a mirror to look directly into this image of misery? I was lucky to have friends and family there for me in my misery, but the pain continued to bounce around, always in the foreground, and never seemed to stop. But with my teacher, the pain had no dimensions. It seemed to go out from me and dissipate. This is how peace absorbs pain. There's no mirror, no bouncing around and back. Peace is a black hole. There was nothing further to discuss. We just sat in peace. Then my teacher left, and my suffering continued. But the stillness remained where it always is, somewhere in the depths. And I had simply forgotten it was with me. It would be almost a decade before the presence of peace would be experienced again. This presence has the power to pull any objects or experience into itself and effortlessly dissipate anything, any feeling, and any thought into nothingness. Peace is now experienced in every moment, regardless of the foreground. I am the depths.